Hi guys, it's Jess from HonestFiction and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing my March TBR. Alright guys, so I just participated in Faro Feb in February where I read nothing but fantasy romance books, and that made me realize fantasy romance really is my favorite genre, so I really want to get back to that in the upcoming months. So this list is half fantasy romance and then half like dark contemporary romance, and I'm super excited about all of these books. So like all my other TBRs, this is just kind of like a guideline to what I want to read. I might not get to all of these, but these are the books that are like highest priority. And with all that out of the way, if you're unfamiliar with my channel, I post new videos every Thursday and Sunday. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. You can also hit that notification bell to be notified whenever I post new bookish content. You can also check out my Instagram and Goodreads, both linked down below. With all out of the way, let's talk about the books I want to read in March. Alright, so starting off with the books that I'm going to be reading for different read-alongs. First up, we have A Court of Wings and Ruin and A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J. Maas. So this is book 3 and then the novella for the ACOTAR series. And I am reading this along with a bunch of other romance booktubers. So the first live show should take place on February 25th on my channel. By the time this video comes out, that should have already passed. But the next live show, which is going to be discussing ACOWAR and then A Court of Frost and Starlight, is taking place on Sam Reads Little's channel. So I'll leave all the information down below in the description. But if you are unfamiliar with this series, we are following Farah, and she is this human girl that is living on the border of the Fae lands. And then one day, she mistakenly kills a fairy thinking it's a wolf, and she has to go live with the High Lord of the Spring Court. So the first book is kind of like a Beauty and the Beast retelling, but oh my gosh, does it get good. So right now, I'm currently halfway into my reread of ACOMAF, and I love this book so much. I feel like every time I read it, I just love it even more. I'm actually making my husband read ACOTAR right now, so there will be a vlog of him reading ACOTAR for the first time, along with a vlog of me rereading the entire series, because I had to get my emotions out just because I love this series so much. So anyway, I hope you guys joined us for the live show. Like I said, March 25th. It should be really fun. And next up, we have The Crown of Gilded Bones by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is book 3 in the From Blood and Ash series. So if you are unfamiliar with this series, we are following Poppy. Poppy has been raised in isolation, and she is known as the Maiden. She is waiting for one day to perform her ascension. We have no idea what that is. And she just has a very lonely life. There are only a few people that are allowed to even see her or talk to her. So one day she decides she wants to go out, have a little fun, and she sneaks off into this tavern where she meets Hawk. And he is the newest member of the Rise Guard, and it goes from there. This is one of my favorite fantasy romance series of all time, and it has everything. It has vampires, it has werewolves, it has slow burn romance, and it is just so good. So I am co-hosting a read-along along with a few other booktubers, and this live show will be taking place on Hannah Blackwell's channel, and I'll leave all the information linked down in the description below. But I hope you guys joined us. I've been loving doing the live shows for these books. This is just a fantastic series. And next up is The Witch Collector, and this is by Charissa Weeks. So I have so many people message me and tell me that I need to pick this series up, and the first book is finally going to be available via audio in the beginning of March, so I am so excited. So I believe this is following Raina, and Raina is trying to get revenge on the Witch Collector and the Frost King for taking her sister. That is until a bigger threat arises, and Raina has to partner with the Collector in order to save her sister, and I'm pretty sure like the entire kingdom. So this sounds really good. I've had a few people tell me that this first book is like okay, but the second book is absolutely amazing. So I'm very excited to jump into this, and this should be a really fun time. All right, so this next book I 100% added to this list just because I saw a TikTok that had fan art and a quote from the book, and I was really intrigued. So that is House of Lies and Sorrow. So I'm pretty sure this is like an enemies to lovers fae romance. We're following Jade, and Jade's father has made a deal with this greedy fae king saying that Jade will marry one of the 5 fae princes. However, it seems like every human that has been married off to a fae prince has met a terrible end. So it is enemies to lovers, and I'm just so interested. The fan art was really good, so I have very high hopes. And next up we have On These Black Sands. So I've been really curious about this book for a while, and I just realized that the audiobook was released. So this is a pirate fantasy enemies to lovers romance, and it just sounds really good. So we're following Declan, and he is a pirate that is very good at killing people. However, he kind of likes to do things his own way, and he doesn't want to listen to, like, the Council of Pirates. So that is until he ends up finding this dagger that could change his life. Unfortunately, where this dagger resides, there's also a stowaway. And that is pretty much all I figured out from the back of the book, but it sounds really good. Apparently it has a slow burn romance and enemies to lovers and pirates. So I love all of those things. So I have very high hopes. I do think it is part of a 3 or 5 book series. Hopefully the rest of the audio is released soon. But yeah, I can't wait to jump into this new fantasy romance. Moving into romance. So first up we have Requiem by Kelly Hart. So this is a dark high school standalone enemies to lovers romance, and I'm curious. So I normally don't love high school romances. I think the first one I read was Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas, and I just feel like that book could have been set in college and been so much better. I don't know, it feels weird when they're so young. But then I just read A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime, and I absolutely loved it. So I'm willing to give this book a shot. I know Tori from Novel Life really enjoyed this book, so I normally like the book she recommends, and I'm hoping to love this one. So this is following a girl, and I really don't know very much about it, but she's going to a private high school, and she wants to get revenge on this guy named Theo for either hurting or killing her best friend. And yeah, so the audio for this was recently released, and I plan on reading this very early in March. And next up we have a book I've actually been putting off because I know it is going to emotionally wreck me. And that is Between Hello and Goodbye by Emma Scott. Now, Emma Scott is notorious for making me ugly cry. The Full Tilt duet and then the other military duet, both of them, they hurt. However, I've been in the mood for like an emotional read, so I'm very excited to listen to this book. This is following, I believe her name's Faith, and she's this party girl. She ends up going on vacation to Hawaii, and when she gets there, she meets this very attractive firefighter, and they just have this beautiful emotional connection, but then they have to separate. The vacation's over, and I think it's like their romance going forward, and I'm so curious. So it actually reminds me a little bit of Full Tilt with like the party girl being the main character, but either way, I know this is gonna be amazing. A lot of my friends have read this, and it really enjoyed it, so I'm really looking forward to just getting my heart stomped on when I read this book. And next up we have Heartless by Elsie Silver. So this is the second book in the Cowboy series. I forget the exact name of it. But the first book was Flawless. And while I enjoyed Flawless, I just feel like I didn't love it quite as much as everyone else. But then a lot of people told me that Heartless is even better. And Heartless is a single dad, and I think it's also like enemies to lovers, slow burn romance. And I love a single dad trope, Juniper Hill being like one of my favorites. So I think I'm gonna enjoy Heartless more than Flawless. And I cannot wait to pick it up. So I'm pretty sure our main character is the nanny for this older guy. It's also age gap. I think our love interest is 13 years older than our main character. And she's the nanny, and she takes care of his son, and then things slowly progress. So I'm very much looking forward to picking up Heartless in March. And the last book on this list, it was actually on my February TBR and I didn't get to it, and that is June 1st by Jennifer Hartmann. So this is a step-sibling romance. I am very hit or miss with Jennifer Hartmann's books. So I'm very curious about this one because I know a lot of people that are like huge fans of Jennifer Hartmann actually weren't crazy about this book, or they rated it a little bit lower, just because this book spends a lot of time like building this relationship. It is very slow burn. We are starting out when our main character is just like a baby, and then apparently by halfway into the book, they're still kind of like children. So I don't know, I'm intrigued. I think I'm gonna really enjoy it. I really love age gap romances, and step-sibling romance, yeah, it used to kind of freak me out, but depending on how it's done, some of them are my absolute favorite. So we will see, and I will definitely be reading that book in March. All right, guys, that is it for my March TBR. Please let me know down in the comments below if you have read any of the books I mentioned, and also let me know what book you are most looking forward to reading in March, and thank you so much for watching. So I said this already, I post new videos every Thursday and Sunday, and if you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. I will see you all next week. Bye!